Hey, Shalom Akim. Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who told me this truth and who rule well. This is Naaman. All right. Uh, well, here we go. Talking about the U.S. tax system. All right. You know you're going to get screwed every time. It says the U.S. tax system is a vast Ponzi scheme that only benefits the wealthy. All right. And it's from the Gainesville Sun. And it says, there are no easy answers to financing U.S. health insurance, mental health care, social services, public health, and other services for nearly 330 million individuals. The USA is a very large country, and financing services must be tailored to this reality. Accordingly, funding government programs requires us to muster the courage to properly tax oligarchs, mega corporations, and others who often completely avoid federal taxes. All right? You got these things called tax shelters. You'll hear where some companies they might literally play. I mean, they have all kinds of tax shelters and stuff, and these accountants. I mean, they do miraculous things. All right, but this is how the system is set up. It's the poor man. All right, that carries the burden. All right. It says it is a big shock for folks to discover how much is lost to the government by corporate oligarch tax avoidance. All right, you used to like to have the money offshore in banking accounts like the Cayman Islands and things of that nature, or dealing with Swiss banks and various other tricks that they had. All right, it says, but it is also shocking what many corporations are doing when they hold back money for wage increases, employment, because it's not profitable for them to hire employees at decent wages. They lend their now tax-free money to the U.S. government to fund deficits. When the U.S. government refuses to tax corporations and the rich and instead borrows from them, it runs a deficit by spending more than it takes in due to not taxing them. Ironically, our government turns around to the same people it didn't tax, corporations and the rich, paying them high interest on the borrowed money. Again, a scheme. Using favorable tax laws, offshoring of taxable profits, and other avoidance methods, large corporations, big insurance, big pharma, and the ultra wealthy rich no longer pay adequate and fair taxes to the government. This is going into, uh, let me get this real quick, right here. This is why they have to be taken out of power. Uh, this is Sirach 10 and 8. All right. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right? It got to go. All right? There's only a certain amount. In fact, I'm going to show you. These are the only people that truly live. These are the banking elite, some of them. And this goes back since the Renaissance times. Jacob Fugger, Altaviti, Johann Henrik Goslar, Philippine Welsler. Banking families are families which have been involved in banking for multiple generations. All right, in the modern era, generally as owners or co-owners of banks, often named for their families. Banking families have been important in the history of banking, especially before the 20th century. But we're just concerned about now. We know that, I just showed you them, the house of Igabe of Mesopotamia, that's antiquity. Modern, we have here Florence, Bardi, and by modern they mean, like I said, since the Renaissance. All right, you get down here, top of the picture I showed you, the first one, Fugger, Augsburg, just Germany. Goldman Sachs, all right. Uh, let's see, London, Hoare, Hottinger, Medici, Italy, Florence. Mellon, all right. Bank of New York Mellon, Pittsburgh, all right. In fact, I used to work in out in D.C. in a building that they built. They have these philanthropists, all right. Let's see, Morgan. Oppenheimer, there we go. Oppenheimer. When was the Bank of England established? I think it was 1694. Let's see, Peruzzi, Rockefeller, there we go. Rockefeller, Rothschild, uh-oh. And we know his 5 sons he sent out. This is Frankfurt, Germany, represented here. Schroeder, another German. Let's see. Simonetti family, Rome, Italy. Solero, Strozzi, all right. Wallenberg, Warburg, all right. And Wessler, all right. So these are the only people. This is, all right. These are the families, all right. Now, of course, I'll post that in a link. All right, like I said, it's one big Ponzi scheme. All right, it's going to explain it. It says the U.S. has substituted debt to finance many government services, which is the main cause of today's obscene 21 trillion debt, and it's more than that now. It says although very profitable for those in the 1%, it is a stunning and unmitigated disaster for everyone in the 99% when wealthy and privileged social groups substitute high interest earning loans to the government for the taxes they formerly paid. Additionally, they often shift any increase in tax rates and percentages away from themselves and onto lower and middle class taxpayers in the 99%. The disaster is that our economy relies almost completely on debt for its growth and causes immense problems in all directions. For example, the interest rate jumps to 28% when we are late on a credit card payment. All right? Let's get some scriptures here real quick, because this is how you know that these can't be, they profess to be what? The people of the Lord. All right? They've hijacked someone else's heritage, Israel, the Hebrew Israelites. All right? Yasharallah. All right? And you know that they can't be that because, well, let's get this. This is Psalms 50. All right? Going 16, it says, but unto the wicked, the Most High Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? All right? Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. All right? You do the exact opposite of what the covenant for the Israelites say to do. All right? Let's get, let's see, Micah. Nope, wrong one. Oops. Malachi 3 and 5. It says, and I will come near to you to judgment. All right. This is the Most High. And I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers and against the adulterers and against false swearers and against those that oppress the hireling and his wages, the widow and the fatherless, and that turn aside the stranger from his right, and fear not me, saith the Most High Yahweh, the Lord of hosts. All right? Because again, you took the Most High's words, all right, and the covenant in your mouth. You profess to be the people of the Most High, and yet you do not what he told you to do. You use it as a covering, as a front. All right? Let's see. James. Got to go to 5. And this is what this is talking about. Go to now, ye rich man, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered. That's why they're trying to go digital. And the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure to you together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Most High, the Lord of Sabaoth. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he does not resist you. Going into what? They did it because it was in the power of their hands to do so. Woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. All right, let's go to Zechariah real quick. Zechariah and 7. This is Zechariah 7 and 9. It says, Thus speaketh Most High Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, saying, Execute true judgment, if you were the true people of the Lord, and shew mercy and compassions every man to his brother, and oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart, and yet you do. What does it say after that? I went back to Psalms 50. What does it say? Let's scroll on down. What? When thou sawest a thief, then thou contendest with him, and hast been partaker in adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother Jacob. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. All right. So I'm gonna end it right there. Again, this is going into this Ponzi scheme that is the tax structure of this wicked ass country. All right. And I'll just post the rest of it and in the description box with the link to the Wikipedia. All right. So with that, once again, I want to give all praise. Kal halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Karkadash. All right. Once again, double honors to the Apostles' Great Millstone. All right. Who taught me this truth and who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, all honesty and sincerity, while trying to wake up the hopeful elect. All right. So with that, Shalom and Baba Ball.